We are back, episode 10, Paradox Podcast.
Yes.
My guy Jeff. How you feeling, Jeff?
I'm good. I'm good. Somebody just walked in. Probably learn something new every day. Same,
Bro.
same old, bruh. Um, yeah, bruh. Be some weeks where I have the answer. Be some weeks where I don't.
Mm,
I'm overall, I'm cool. I'm cool. Still, still at it. I don't know why my answer is so long winded. It's just that type of day, but I'm
yeah.
good.
Nah, I feel you. I've been pretty tired just because I've been outside a lot of the week. Like ever since it
Right.
got really hot, I've been out. And then yesterday and today I'm like inside.
Mm,
Like, I feel like fatigued just because, you're running around, you're doing a bunch of stuff.
yeah,
But I'm happy I get to like be inside and just do all the things that I want to do. Just because
yeah,
I'm like a home person. I like to
mm,
finish everything I have to do at home.
yeah.
And I don't want to be outside unless it's like productive. And yeah, I was enjoying myself. I'm not gonna lie, I was having fun and linking homies, making music with people, which is good. But I'm happy to just do my housekeeping.
But
Um,
sometimes that is the most productive thing. My fault. Sending this.
yeah.
All right, bro.
No, no, you're right. I'm feeling good. I feel like life is not meant to be lived just by yourself or just like in like a controlled environment. I feel like when I'm inside, I kind of know what's around me
Yeah,
because I'm at home. Whereas when I'm outside, it's just like whatever be happening. Especially when you go to DC, that city type of atmosphere.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm blessed to kind of just like honestly just knock out a lot of stuff I've been wanting to knock out. And yeah. Yeah, I've been in a good place, I think, overall. Just feeling lighter. I don't know about you. What's the workload been like?
A little heavier, but I have more clarity in what I'm doing. So it is more work, but
Mhm.
I have a just better grasp of how to, you know, um, regain control, so to speak.
Right.
So I'm responsible for a few more people now. Um, Taking on just a few new projects. I still cut a lot out that
Mhm.
wasn't serving me or just good for the overall, um, which has helped a lot. But work doesn't stop. So just managing it the best I can. And I'm doing a lot of pivots too. Like some ideas I'm I'm kind of seeing aren't working out how I thought they would, but
Mm.
I'm making adjustments and I'm adapting to just adapting overall.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the toughest part because routines are so great, especially when you have a good routine set, and then you might have to do something, I don't know, maybe hang out with like family, just something, like one of those things that come here and there.
yeah,
And then you're like, oh, now I gotta hang out with so and so. And then in just like 2 or 3 days, your routine that you've been keeping up is suddenly shuffled around. And now, like, you get back into that space of like, okay, let's start it up again. And it really takes some time to get to that point where you're flying again. And that's
yeah,
pretty much where I'm at. Where I was like, all right, I've been out. I haven't been reading. I haven't been working out. I haven't been, fasting like I wanted to. So I'm like, all right, let me get back to just my groove. I feel like I have my own tempo. And I
yeah,
feel like even for what we do, I think we all need our I don't want to say balance. I don't want to say balance, but I think it's like we have our own way we conduct our like self, like a rhythm. I feel
yeah,
like a rhythm. So I'm kind of just getting back to my rhythm, and I feel like you are too, or you're getting better with like, you know, being off of it and then you're back on. You know what I mean? Like you can get back on quick.
exactly.
You know?
Sometimes I don't know. I think I'm in a period where I'm definitely off rhythm, and I'm replacing what the old rhythm felt like or I'm changing the pace of it
Mm,
to a new rhythm. Um, so it's a little uncomfortable, but just what comes with it. Like,
yeah.
can't always be in rhythm. I wish we could, but
That doesn't feel like real life. You know what I
nah,
mean? That's
nah.
like, I don't know, like maybe a machine.
Mm,
Machine is always, because that's their code. You know what I
right,
mean? To stay on
right.
it. But us, man, it's like a circus, really. It's
Yeah,
just human life. I don't know. I feel like that's what makes our work, I don't know, maybe have life to it. You know what I mean? I feel like if you never had ups and downs, it's almost like what are we putting into our work? If you know what I mean? Like we need the
yeah,
chaos in order to
yeah.
have the, I don't know, comfort or chaos for,
Clarity.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when everything's all over the place, you see where the real value is, or you see what you actually care about. Yeah.
yeah. I've been um I've been reading something about like I don't know how to put it in words, but it's just like this notion of it's kind of like belief
Mm,
where essentially you kind of whatever you believe that's gonna happen is gonna happen. And I've been trying to apply that to like let's just say the bigger things, like the bigger dreams.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Not for like the small stuff like, oh, I want to make the bus. Like
Right.
I want to make it on time for not something like that,
Mm,
but more like, oh, I'm gonna like 10x my income, my monthly
yeah.
income, whatever in a year or something. Or um or be looking at my house, like my family home, be like, yeah, I want to pay the bills here, like
Mm,
soon, you know? And it's funny how having that belief and then trusting timing are like they're like a team. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I've been really trying to, cause I've been out. You know what I mean? I've been off of
Yeah.
my routine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I'm off of my routine, I be thinking about stuff like this, cause I'm like, yo, I'm not doing my routine, so I'm messing up my timing. Or like,
Right.
oh, now it's not looking like it. You know what I mean? It was when I was on my thing, but now it's not.
Yeah.
And I've been just paying attention to how I react to being off rhythm, and how firm am I in my belief of the things I be saying. Um, but yeah,
Are you saying when you're off rhythm, that's a good test of how much you believe, or
I
what are you
think
saying?
it's more of like a doubt. You know what I mean? Because I think I get a lot of comfort and like I feel good when I'm on it, when I'm on the
Yeah.
routine, and when I'm out and about, honestly, just living life, like away from
Mm,
the work. I'm kind of
yeah.
like, man, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, am I even taking this seriously? Am I doing what's right? Or should I just go back into the workforce? Whatever, all those things come up. But I
Right.
always found it interesting how, like, if you really believe in your timing, you know what I mean? And you trust about what you're doing, like, those thoughts tend to be a lot quieter. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
I don't know how you can definitely attest to that in your own way.
I think a lot of my a lot of the voices in my head or the doubt in my head, they always quiet down when I remember that somebody has done what I'm trying to do before.
Hmm.
I'm not doing anything too special. I've been given a skill set. I've clearly been given a timeline um that I'm unaware of, and I've been put through the fire to accept that.
Right.
Um to where those thoughts have become jokes now. Like,
Right.
damn, maybe I should quit and do this. But I don't really believe that. I think I know very clearly why I'm here. And it's kind of funny. I was having a conversation with Jamie last night. We were shooting videos, and I'm like, the longer that I'm in this industry, the less I want, which in turn kind of shortens the timeline for what I actually want. Like I don't want a lot of the I don't want a lot of what I used to the longer that I'm making music or meeting people or getting certain opportunities. Like I just don't care like I used to, which sometimes that's what the timeline is for. Is for
Yeah.
you to get to the point where you're like, I don't actually care about this, so you can make, you know, the correct pivot.
Right. Yeah, I think it's like what you're saying. It's almost like detaching, or you kind of see
Yeah,
things for what it is almost.
yeah,
And so you're like, yo, this is, I don't know, maybe like shiny object syndrome. You know, like in the beginning, everything is shiny. You
yeah,
know, whether it's like accolades, likes, comments, whatever you attribute that to. And then you could even get like a fraction of it. Or you can even see your friends, you know, like somebody around you going through that, and you're like, hmm, yeah, I'm gonna just lock in on my timing. You know what I mean? Like just worry about what I got going on. Like express what I want to express. And
yes,
you know, like that's the only really thing that matters at the end of the day. And I think the tricky part is that we want so much from what we're doing that we almost can't, you know, like I don't know, just like be in the moment and really enjoy what we're doing because we're not detaching,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And it's easier said than done when you got bills
Yeah.
due and kids and other not distractions, but things that would make it easier if you didn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know,
Yeah. It's
like
it's not like when you're 16.
even I was talking to. Mhm.
No, no, go ahead. I was just saying it's not like when you're a kid and you don't have responsibilities. Because that's, you know, we started when we were at that point,
Exactly.
you know, and it was fun
Yeah,
because it didn't really need to work, you know? It didn't have to work. But now I feel like it has to work, you know, because of life and, like you
yeah.
said, responsibilities.
Your dreams were cute,
Mm-hmm.
and now like they're not so cute. Now that you're a grown man
Yeah.
making music and pursuing is like not cool anymore because real things come along with it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the sacrifices are real, or are a little more um, in front of your face than they were at a younger age.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that too. That kind of forces you to think outside the box. Like I've been putting out a lot of song references. I've been trying to do this whole beat stars thing or like sell hooks and bruh, I'm done. I'm done with all that, bro. Like I
Mm-hmm.
really just want to lock in on placements and working with people that I enjoy working with and maybe doing a few community events, but I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't. I really woke up this morning. I'm like, bruh, where's the money? Like,
Right.
where's the money really? Not even on some like personal, but just looking at where the industry is going. I'm like, what
Yeah.
do people actually value now? Because it's not music, you know. It's not what it used to, and that's been the question of the week for me for real. It's just like I'm not doing anything wrong, so like where what else do I need to do to make it right? And yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's what's been
No,
on my
I
mind
think
as far as that.
those are the questions I feel like we're all asking, especially when we talk about you're trying to detach from the outcome of like a financial, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But at the same time, we can't really afford to be completely ignorant of that because we're running a business, you know,
yeah,
and we have a presence. And it's funny, once I realized like, oh, the money is in this area. Maybe like, oh, okay, the money is in performing, you know? And then suddenly you're like, okay, I need to be better at that. You know what I mean? Or it's like, oh,
right,
okay, now I have to practice a bunch. And then you could
right,
even feel imposter syndrome. Let's say you are performing and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. So I need to
Yeah.
practice more. And then you're like, damn, I really spent all this money to get paid this little amount for my time, right? And then you're like, okay, this isn't sustainable. Because I remember I ran into a homegirl of mine, and then she was like, yeah, my job just laid me off. So now
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing DJing full time, and I'm just kind of living life. And she's a great DJ, and she's played across the country and stuff. But it's just that thing
Yeah.
of like, okay, the money is here. There's a lot of money in performance in music, but
Yeah.
it's almost like, is this sustainable for a life? Like, hey, can I get an
Facts. And
apartment? Or yeah,
apparently it is. Like
yeah,
what we see, and of course you don't, believe none of what you hear, half of what you see, but apparently it's very lucrative. Money is just falling from the sky and people
right.
are just picking it up. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that question is like, what am I doing wrong? Especially when you've been in it for so long and you have a sense of mastery in what you're doing and it's still not working out. That question gets louder. It gets louder. Your faith gets stronger, but there's still a little doubt.
Yeah.
So I
I
commend
think
her
that's a
for
healthy doubt, to
taking
be
that leap.
honest. Like what you're saying, it's like you've been doing it for so long, so you're in the arena. You've been in it for a long time. So it's almost like what you said earlier, like the pivoting. Like the pivoting doesn't feel as crazier because you're like, okay, I've seen things change. Like I've seen things turn up, you know? I think where I remember we were talking about this before, like this the finance situation of like the music industry in terms of like independent, up and coming, da da da. It's crazy because a lot of it is not even about music. Like you said, it's not about music. It's almost about um what what are people willing to pay for that they identify with. And like
Bingo.
that's what I've noticed and something I've done right in terms of like putting music like up on Bandcamp and it's dance music. Like I didn't even get paid last couple weeks and then I've made like let's say like 30 in the past like couple days, you know? And that's not really anything I did, but it's more like it's like they identify with that genre, and it has a function. People are DJing all over the world every night and they are looking for tracks. And so paying $1, $2, 9, 10, whatever, like that is something people identify with. It actually has nothing to do about me. I'm just like a vessel for that. But at the end of the day, that's like passive income. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's not that can pay for my train or like pay for lunch or
Right.
those expenses in that price range, but it can't do it for if I want to move out or if I want to get
Exactly.
new equipment or you know what I mean? So it's almost like this struggle of like the question you're saying, like where is the money? Not in terms of like, you know, where's the money at all? You know what I mean? It's just in terms of like
Yeah.
where's the money that can support me in the way that I want. And like you
Where's the
said,
money for me?
yeah,
How do I share what I'm doing? Like,
it's a scale. I think it's a scale issue, to be honest, because it's like you've been paid for what you do. You know what I mean? I think it's
hmm
just a frequency and a scale problem because I that's the again, it's so tough because it's like you want it to be that big, but sometimes it requires pivoting in terms of like strategy. And sometimes that aha
yeah.
moment is like I don't know. I feel like you have to research it and stuff, but it also comes to you. Or you're being around people who honestly being around people who have scaled it that much. I think that's probably the biggest
hmm
cheat code. Being around people like, yo, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
doing this in this industry and that's how I'm getting it. And you're kind of like, oh, okay. And I feel like now
Did
that's,
you did you send me that?
I
There
don't
was
think
a
so.
TikTok or like something. I watched the video recently where they was literally saying that like you want to get faster, run with faster runners. Like And that's one of like the really simple things that people look over, including us sometimes. Like we forget that if you want to learn something, get around people who have learned it and are doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe that could be the piece that we don't maybe think about enough is like the people aspect. Like I'm happy I met someone I looked up to, or at least I had respect for this week. And he was like another producer
Mm-hmm.
from England, and he came down here for a show.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't mean like, oh yeah, like I'm releasing on his label or anything like that. But it was just the matter of like hanging out with somebody that has done things or has been impactful.
Yeah.
He like does this for a living. He's not a
Yeah.
millionaire, but at least I'm like, hey, I know you, you know? And then in my mind, I'm like,
Yeah.
that again, that doesn't pay me, but it's like the degree of separation, and being like,
Right.
okay, I can get around the people I want to get around. It just you have to make it make sense, you know? And like when you're around them, then you can ask questions, you know, and be like, all right, this is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to do, da 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 da. So I think it's again, it's kind of a grind, to really be like, okay, I'm making X amount. I want it to be 10 times this. And the people around me aren't thinking about these things because they have
Right.
the comfort, I would say the dangerous soft pillow of a 9 to 5, in which that will enable them to not think about certain questions because something is coming in. Whereas we have chosen to not have that pillow, but to be like, yo, we're gonna fill in the blanks, you know? And yeah, I don't know. Honestly, bro, I'm still racking my brain on that, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, let's try this new merch stuff. And maybe, yeah, like position my brand, like really grow the brand of what I'm doing and make it cool. And so people want to buy in.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
I know for a fact it's what you said about what do people identify with at our studio, who's never done merch before, hasn't really performed too much. He's fairly new. He's been releasing music, but he's fairly new to the art of world building and really building a community.
Mm-hmm.
We took a trip structure. The day after, he buys like 5, 10 shirt blanks and gets just some simple text, his brand, and then a saying on the back, just screen printed. He sells out. He re-ups. This is nobody. He doesn't like in the grand scheme. I'm just saying this. He doesn't have a bigger brand than me.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a bigger name than certain artists. Yet he was able to sell out and make $500+ on a simple T-shirt. It's a simple. I don't even know if it's Hanes. It's like a simple T-shirt, simple letters in black and white. Like, so I know for a fact it's the identity that is my issue and a lot of other artists, songwriters, DJs, their issue on why they're not able to figure out what generates income or be able to scale what they're already making money with. It's all identity. What do people identify with? That is what they value now. And even having this conversation, I'm getting that like even more. You know.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's really tough because you really have to like commoditize yourself in a way and like your brand, and people have to like attach to something about you. And I think the real
Yeah.
kick about all of this is like finding a way to like offer something to somebody else and really expanding that to a point where there's things people can get from you at this rate, at this amount, and that amount. And if that happens a lot, then okay, you're getting paid, but is it enough to fulfill the things that you want? You know what I mean? So let's say
Exactly.
I did $100 on Bandcamp last month, then I'm like, okay, cool, that got me things, but it wasn't able to get me A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
you know? But it did get me whatever
Right.
was on that tier, you know? So, and then you have to kind of like go
Mm-hmm.
back and be like, what can I actually offer that's in a range of 100, 500, whatever. And I think when you don't have an identity, that's hard. And I'm realizing that now because I've been spending a lot of time selling shit. And that's why people are like, oh, yeah, I want your stickers. Or at least when I come out with merch, I did realize some type of like, oh, yeah, he always uses his logo and stuff like that. But it's
Right.
one thing to have an identity, it's another thing to like actually propose it in a way that people are like want it and excited for it. You know, back to the artist friend you were
Yeah.
talking about, like, sure, he made the shirts and he didn't have an identity, but he still had to make them and like put them out there, you know? And at least you
Yeah.
can kind of say, like, oh, there are people there who actually care about him, you know? Who's to say those are family and friends, and then people who just want to be like, oh, yeah, you have a shirt. Like, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, again, I think it's just like the huge intentionality behind being like, okay, I actually have to pay for, like, it's almost like you got to pay to play, really. You know, I always say the music
Yeah. You
industry is a lot
do.
like that, you know?
And that's something I'm reinforcing now with our artists and even my not mainly our artists because I always have this like I know how to make certain things clear, but there'll be certain things where I'm not unclear, but I haven't done it myself, so I feel weird teaching it or guiding somebody on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm like, I'm being very blunt now. This is an industry that I'm pretty much every industry, but this industry especially where everything costs. There's never a time where you're not investing in yourself, and everything will take money to do. So instead of complaining about that, create systems where you can generate money from the money that you're spending. And that's kind of what how I'm moving now. Like
Mm-hmm.
selling songs, selling hooks, that shit ain't paying me, bruh. It's good content. People know that I write songs, but nobody's beating my door down to buy anything. So, okay, my pivot or my solution now is like, all right, I'm gonna focus on placements. I'm gonna focus on songwriting events and start building my narrative or my identity as a writer instead of just a guy who writes songs. And that's for a lot of people is just if it's not working, how can you adjust? What are other people around you doing? Other people around me are bringing people in the studio and making records. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
I know one person, which is funny. I'm saying this now. I know one person who sells hooks and is successful in it and sells songs. Everybody else I know is making records and getting, whether it's publishing deals or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're becoming masters at branding and identity, and that is where I'm headed. So yeah, anybody struggling with that issue, it's most likely an identity issue, and people don't know you yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's just about finding fun ways for you to do that. Because for me, I feel like a lot of everything is experimentation. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Like, there's things I believe in and I want
I
to
hate
show of myself, but like, I don't think I've ever stood too firm on something where I'm like, oh,
you.
okay, I
Mm-hmm.
have to keep trying stuff out and not really feeling like, oh, I don't want to be cringe or I don't want to be da da da. And honestly, I think that's what holds back probably most artists around here and most artists I know. They just don't want to look cringe or look DIY or whatever it may be. And I feel like the only reason I got to whatever I got to was being like, I don't really care. Or I care, but it's not going to stop me, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
because we all have an identity, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I got to figure out who I am. It's like, nah, you already are that, you know? It's just about documenting that in a way where people can kind of feel who you are, you know? Because that's how people are like, you know, they want to support, you
yeah.
know, and tap in with you. So it's tough.
I
Would you
think that
say,
point,
yeah, yeah.
that point, mhm. that
No, go
point
ahead, go
in the
ahead.
experimentation phase. Like there's a point in the experimentation phase, or it comes to a point where it's like, bro, I'm tired of experimenting. What
Mhm.
works? And I think we we're not present to where we miss what's working
Mm.
because it's not working well enough.
Yeah.
Like there's things that I've tried that generate money that I've overlooked because maybe it wasn't enough to get this or enough to whatever satisfy whatever need I needed at the moment. So slow down. Like if you're like tired of experimenting, do an audit of what you've been doing. And the chances are something in there has worked. You just overlooked it and didn't double down on it, which is literally what I'm about to do after we get off this call. It's just is focus on what worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, experimentation phase. I'm like, bro, I hate this phase. I've been in this phase for I can't even uh, count like how many years I've been in the experimentation phase, and that's probably because I'm just moving too fast. Go ahead and ask your question. Oh my bad.
No, I was gonna say that. Would you say that you feel as if the experimenting phase is like it hasn't really brought you anything, if that makes sense? Like, would you rather experiment or would you rather stay firm in one thing? Like, if you were to choose, what type of mode would you prefer to be in?
I don't want to sound like I'm unappreciative of the experimentation phase. It's just everything that has gotten me has been intangible. You know?
Yeah, but do you think intention you can experiment and be intentional at the same time?
No, I said intangible.
Oh, and okay. Tangible. Okay. All right, yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. So I it bring I feel some type of way when I've been doing it for so long in everything I've learned. I can say that I know how to do this and I know how to write that and I know this person and I have this number and I know how to work this software and blah 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 blah. But it's like I still there's a piece of my brain that's like I still have nothing to show for it, which I know is just your darker side trying to put doubt in what you're doing. But that shit is heavy, bro, and I know a lot of people go through that. No matter how confident and how faithful you are, bro, it'll get to you. You're human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's what is important about like belief, firmness, because even if you're in the experimentation phase or let's say you've got your formats, you're just running the same plays, you're running, you know what I mean? Like it's all gonna feel the same to you, I think, at one point, because it's like, oh, it's all going towards a certain goal that is tangible. I think that's really what it is. I think some people are
Yeah,
out here, they haven't had anything work. You know what I mean? And so when
yeah.
you really haven't had anything work, it's hard to trust anything you do, like for yourself,
Mm,
you know? So
that was a bar.
thank you, buddy. But I think, because honestly, I'm just coming from a place of like, I've had something work, like whether it's
Yeah,
something on TikTok or something on Instagram or randomly going viral on Instagram just because of something somebody else did. And like there is a
right.
post on my page that has like 1.4 million views. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Mm,
cool. But in my mind, I realized that I'm like, damn, I didn't do anything for that. All I did was like kind of like put
mm,
myself out there that one time, but people are reacting to it. Like people feel some way about it. So I almost kind of detached from
yeah.
like, oh, it doesn't matter if I do something repeatable, like a format or like experimenting. It's not like about me, regardless, in both of those. It's just about what somebody can latch on to. And like again, what do somebody else identify with? You know what I mean? So if that's the case, all I have to do is know who I am and give that. And what people latch onto, that's what they want. You know what I mean? And like that would always work. That's the nice thing about a lot of this. Once it works, it'll work for a while. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's tough because again, you can't like plan this. Like everything we're talking about, this is just something you do. It's like, okay, it worked. Oh, okay, what, we're gonna stop? Just because it worked? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like this ongoing like hamster wheel of like, find what works. Okay, it works. Okay, then let's keep working until whatever we get what we want from this. So I think that's tough because some people don't even have that moment of, oh my God, this worked. I think that's the tough part, you know? And then, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, you said everything very concise, very like you said everything very perfect. It's just focus on what people identify with. Um, and that's really it. Everything else is filler.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. We can end it on that.
hell yeah. All right, episode 10 done. It's crazy that we hit 10 though. Did I tell you about
It
that
is. It didn't
stat?
feel like. Mm.
That stat where like 90% of podcasts don't reach 60 episodes?
Oh, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I almost kind of I always remember that when we're doing this. I'm like, damn, 60, huh? Okay, that's like we 10% or whatever. It's not 10%. Um, yeah, I didn't major in math. But yeah, bro, well, this has
Hey,
been
don't get me started.
a yeah, we making way. We hit a decade like shit. So up and onward, up and onwards. But yeah, Jeff, this was fun. We'll catch everybody on the next one. Peace.
Sure. All right, y'all.
Sir.